So no matter which instrument you play, there's an amateur line, there's a semi-pro sort of prosumer line, and there's a professional line of that equipment. But do you actually need the top of the line name brand equipment to gig, make a lot of money, and be viewed as a professional? Well, the answer may surprise you. Hey, and welcome to Music Space, where we help working musicians just like you learn how to quickly and easily make a living with your craft. So if you're new here to the channel, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you'll be notified when new videos are uploaded. So this video, like my last video, is going to be a little different from the normal videos I put out in that this is going to be a little less formal. And it's because I simply want to have a conversation with you about this topic. So this topic comes up quite a bit in like musician forums and musician, social media groups where a lot of musicians hang out. It's a question that a lot of musicians who are starting out have, and it's even a question that a lot of professional musicians have, and that is, what should I buy? What equipment should I get? What drums should I get? What keyboard? What microphone? What in-ears? What bass? What guitar? And on and on and on. And this usually brings up the question of, should I buy professional name brand equipment? Like, am I missing anything if I don't have these name brands? Or am I going to be considered an amateur if I don't have a specific brand of instrument? And the answer to this may shock you, but yes, you actually need professional equipment. Now notice, I didn't say name brand equipment. I said professional equipment, and there is a difference. Now, name brand equipment is important, and I'll discuss that in a second, but I'll let you in on a little secret first. What people in the professional music and musician industry are mostly concerned about is sound and tone. Does the sound and tone that is coming out of the equipment that you have produce something that is viewed as professional? And the thing is, musicians buying equipment today are really lucky because the lines between where, the sort of amateur equipment ends and then the professional equipment begins is sort of blurred nowadays. I mean, lower line equipment is much more suited for, semi-professional and even professional, gigs in some cases, and definitely much more so than it was years ago. I mean, take keyboards, for example. I mean, when I was coming up, it was either you had a professional line, you had a Korg Triton, a Korg Trinity, or, a Roland XP80, or, a Yamaha, the original motif, or you had the lowest of the low, you had like a Casio Concert Mate. And there were not a lot of sort of in between, that professional line and that lower level line like that. You either had one or the other. And you couldn't show up to a gig with a Casio keyboard. You would get thrown off the stage. But the point is, what you need here is equipment that produces quality sound and quality tones. Now, this has its limits, and it's much easier to achieve on some instruments than on others. Like drums, for example, it's generally easier to make, an amateur drum kit sound like a professional drum kit, especially if they're going to be mic'd up. So you get an amateur level kit, you replace the stock heads on it with some professional heads, you dampen them up, if that's your thing, you tune them up really nicely, you remove the pawn shop logo from it, and you mic them up, and you won't be able to tell the difference between those and, say a Pearl Masters custom if you got them mic'd up and all of the music is gone. Or at least a general audience member person wouldn't be able to tell the difference between those two things. But as I mentioned, this has its limits too. There are certain sections and niches within the sort of professional gigging musician community where you actually are expected to show up with pro level name brand equipment. And this is especially true for studio musicians. You'll get thrown out of a session if you show up with some random off-brand stuff. I mean, it's literally like if you play bass, you're expected to show up at that session with an authentic Fender Jazz or Fender P bass. You play keys, you better be showing up with a Kronos, a Phantom, or a Montage. You play guitar, you better be showing up with an authentic Fender Strat or a Telecaster. And of course, this is not true in all cases, but generally speaking, it is the truth. You have to show up with some professional name brand equipment. And in the normal gig world, there are some assumptions that come along with having professional equipment. You generally get the assumption of being good and knowing how to play, but more importantly than that, you get the assumption of being viewed as a professional musician. And of course, this isn't always true. I mean, we definitely all know somebody who this isn't true for, but generally it is the case. Now look, the reason that all of this is important is because you want to clear as many obstacles as you can to making large amounts of money from what you do as a musician. Remember, this channel is about helping working musicians make more money and make large amounts of money and get higher paying gigs and things like that. You hear me talk about that and you hear me say that in all of the intros of these videos. And the bottom line is drummers who have a DW Collector Series kit, bass players who have a Ken Smith, and keys players with an 88 key Montage or an 88 key Chronos tend to be the type of musicians who are viewed as professionals and tend to be the type of musicians who are the highest paid musicians and therefore make the most money. Now, is the name brands behind their equipment the only thing that contributes to them being high paid musicians and making more money? Of course not. But generally it is something that contributes to it. So, should you have professional name brand equipment? Okay, here it is. If you don't have professional name brand equipment right now, it's perfectly okay. You don't necessarily have to go out and drain your savings or take out a loan or a line of credit right now to go buy some professional name brand equipment. However, if you want to venture into the professional musician world and you want to play the types of gigs that professional musicians play and get the type of studio sessions that professional musicians, tend to get, and you want to become a higher paid musician overall, it's probably a good idea to set a goal of getting some professional name brand equipment in the foreseeable future. And at the very minimum, you should have some sort of semi-pro, sort of prosumer level equipment. Is pro level name brand music equipment going to make or break your career? No, absolutely not. But it's definitely something that contributes to the image of you being a professional musician. And this professional musician image is something that, professional musicians have. And it's what allows them to charge more, make more money, and get higher paying gigs. But the question is for you. What do you think? Do you think that musicians should have pro level name brand equipment? Do you think professional level equipment even matters? If you can play well, or as long as you can play, does it even matter? Jump down in the comments and let me know. I definitely want to hear your comments and your thoughts about that and have a conversation with you about it. And before we end this video, I want to let you know that my Marketing for Musicians course is now available. It's a full online course with over an hour of nuts and bolts training on marketing for musicians and the things that we should focus on when we're marketing, to make more sales, get more gigs, and things like that. So if you're looking to promote yourself, your music, your band, get your name out, this course is for you. And right now it's being offered at a crazy low price, like much lower than what you would even pay for a couple streaming services, in a month. But it won't be at this low price for long. So you need to get in on it right now. And to do so, just click the link in the description of this video that says Marketing for Musicians course. And listen, thank you so much for watching this video. I really do hope that it was helpful for you and you got something from it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button on this video. And here are some other videos that you can check out right now.